Good afternoon and welcome to another Monday Mission Moment. This Monday Mission Moment is coming out on Tuesday because yesterday was the national holiday celebrating the life of Martin Luther King Jr. And in honor of Dr. King, I would like to use the following quote from his sermon, The Drum Major Instinct. If any of you are around here when I have to meet my day, I don't want a long funeral. And if you get somebody to deliver a eulogy, tell them not to talk too long. And every now and then I wonder what I want them to say. Tell them not to mention that I have a Nobel Peace Prize. That isn't important. Tell them not to mention that I have 300 or 400 other awards. That is not important. Tell them not to mention where I went to school. I'd like somebody to mention that day that Martin Luther King Jr. tried to give his life serving others. I'd like for someone to say that day that Martin Luther King Jr. tried to love somebody. I want them to say that day that I tried to be on the right side of the war question. I want you to be able to say that I did try to feed the hungry. And I want you to be able to say that day that I did try in my life to clothe those who were naked. I want you to say on that day that I did in my life visit those who were in prison. I want you to say that I tried to love humanity. And isn't that what it's all about? And certainly in line with the Ignatian understanding that our mission, our call from God, is about nothing more than saving souls, than helping those in need, than serving others. Dr. King had many accolades and awards in his life, but as he says in this quote, they aren't important. What is important, rather, is what we do, the actions we take to build the kingdom here on earth. We all have in our lives those successes that we can look at. We all have in those lives those moments of great success, those moments where, in fact, we are honored for things that we do. We have those moments in life when the projects that we undertake are recognized and perhaps even lauded. But in the end, as Dr. King says, none of that is as important as those that we engage, those that we help, those who we love as God loves. And so, as we celebrated yesterday, the memorial of the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I think we can continue on to remember that what he engaged in, that what he tried to do, was to put into effect the gospel message, to put into effect and support the common human dignity of all people, to put into effect and to support God's great love in the world, so that he could in fact leave the world a better place than when he had found it. And perhaps we can pray for that grace this week. Pray for that grace to continue to build the kingdom here on earth. Pray for that grace to continue to embrace the gospel message. And pray for that grace to use the accolades and the awards and the lauding that we receive as external guideposts that we are in fact living out God's plan, but to never let them become so important that they become a barrier to it. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you next week.